Imagine facing any challenge, big or small, and winning every time. Picture yourself staying calm, confident, and in control, no matter what life throws at you. What if you had the mental tools to turn setbacks into stepping stones and obstacles into opportunities? This audiobook will show you how to train your mind to win any situation, unlocking your true power and potential. Get ready to transform your thinking, master your emotions, and create a mindset that refuses to lose. Your journey to unstoppable mental strength starts right now. Chapter 1. Own your inner world. Before the outer world owns you, most people walk through life reacting to everything outside of them. They get angry because someone insulted them. They feel small because someone rejected them. They give up because circumstances got hard. But here's the truth. Nothing outside of you has power until you give it power. Your mind is the command center. If you don't learn to own your inner world, the outer world will control you. And when the outer world controls you, you're no longer the driver of your life. You become a passenger, tossed around by the winds of emotion, fear, and doubt. That's why mental training is not optional. It's survival. It's how you rise when life tries to pull you down. Every situation you face starts in your mind. It's not the event that determines your outcome. It's your interpretation of that event. Two people can face the same storm. One breaks. The other builds a boat. Why? Because of the meaning they attach to it. When your inner world is strong, you don't panic in pressure. You don't collapse under stress. You don't let failure define you. Instead, you observe. You breathe. You think. And then you act with clarity. That's the power of owning your inner world. The problem is, most of us were never taught this. We were taught how to memorize formulas, how to follow rules, how to please others, but no one taught us how to master our emotions, thoughts, and mindset. And so we become prisoners in our own minds. We live with anxiety, stress, overthinking, fear, and guilt, not because we're broken, but because we're untrained. The mind is like a sword. If you don't sharpen it, it gets dull. If you don't control it, it controls you. But once you start training it, everything changes. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop fearing problems. You start solving them. And when the world tries to shake you, you stay centered, focused, and powerful. So how do you begin? First, you become aware. You start watching your thoughts like a guard at the gate. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves your reaction. You learn to sit with discomfort without running. You observe without judgment. That's how self-mastery begins with awareness. Next, you rewrite the stories in your mind. Most of our fears come from old mental programs. I'm not good enough, I always fail, I can't handle this. These are lies. They were planted in childhood, trauma, rejection, or failure. But just because a story has been repeated doesn't make it true. You can write a new one where you are powerful, capable, and resilient. You can't wait for life to give you confidence. You build it by choosing empowering thoughts daily. You must talk to yourself more than you listen to yourself, because the world will always have noise opinions, critics, pressure. But your job is to stay rooted in truth, your truth. When you own your inner world, you stop being desperate for validation. You don't need people to agree with you to move forward. You don't chase approval. You create direction. The strongest minds don't avoid struggle. They use it as training. Every difficult moment becomes a gym for your mindset. Every problem becomes an opportunity to upgrade your thinking. When you live like this, no situation can beat you. Because your strength doesn't come from what happens. It comes from how you respond to what happens. That's mental freedom. And that's how you win from the inside out. You train your mind not just to survive life's storms, but to walk through them with unshakable presence. This is how warriors are made. Not through ease, but through mindset. Not by luck, but by daily choice. Own your inner world. Make it your mission. Because once you do, no situation, no person, no failure, nothing can take your power away. Chapter 2. Control your response. Control the outcome. Every situation in your life may not be your fault, but your response to it is always your responsibility. That single truth, when fully embraced, separates the mentally weak from the mentally unstoppable. The most powerful people in the world aren't those who avoid problems. They're the ones who respond to problems with clarity, control, and courage. They don't get hijacked by emotions. They don't collapse under pressure. They pause, they breathe, they evaluate, and they respond intentionally, not impulsively. That's the real difference. Life doesn't reward reactivity. It rewards self-mastery. We've been conditioned to react. From an early age, we're trained to snap back when insulted, to panic when things go wrong, to lash out when hurt, to run away when afraid. But reactivity is the mind's autopilot, and autopilot never wins. Reactivity comes from fear, ego, and emotion. It creates more chaos than clarity. When you react without thinking, you give away your power. You become a slave to whatever or whoever triggered you. But when you learn to pause even for a few seconds, you reclaim authority over yourself. That pause is where transformation begins. It's where you choose strength over weakness, growth over ego, solution over problem. Think about the last time someone made you angry. Maybe they said something rude. Maybe they disrespected you. Maybe they betrayed you. Your initial urge might have been to fight back, yell, defend, insult. That's reaction. But what did that solve? Did it make you feel better long term? Did it bring clarity or just more pain? Now imagine if you had paused, just for 5 seconds. Took a breath, reminded yourself, I control how I respond. Maybe instead of yelling, you asked a question. Maybe instead of reacting, you observed. Maybe instead of feeding the drama, you walked away with dignity. That's power. Not reacting doesn't mean weakness. It means strength. It means you're not a puppet. It means you've trained your mind to rise above the moment. The most dangerous person in any room is not the loudest, it's the calmest. The one who doesn't get rattled, the one who doesn't rush, the one who chooses their response with surgical precision. Because calm minds create sharp decisions. Panicked minds create chaos. And in a world that's constantly trying to pull you into its noise, your calm is your superpower. Control your response, and you start controlling outcomes. Let's be clear. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you manage them. Emotions are natural, human, necessary. But unmanaged emotions can destroy relationships, careers, and peace of mind. A moment of uncontrolled anger can lead to words you can't take back. A few seconds of fear can stop you from taking life-changing action. One bad response can close doors forever. That's the cost of being untrained. So how do you train your response? It starts with awareness. Most people don't realize when they're reacting, they just do it. They're so consumed by emotion, they forget they have a choice. But the truth is, between stimulus and response, there is always a space. In that space is your power. In that space is your freedom. You must expand that space. How? Practice. Daily. When someone cuts you off in traffic, don't scream breathe. When your plans fall apart, don't spiral adapt. When you feel insulted, don't strike back. Step back. Over time, you create a gap between what happens and how you respond. That gap is mental mastery. Next, shift your focus from emotion to solution. Emotion is valid, but it's not always useful. If you're in a burning building, panic doesn't save you. Clarity does. If you're in a crisis, overthinking doesn't solve it. Action does. So when problems hit, ask yourself, what's my best move right now? Not, why me? Not, this is unfair. But, what's my most powerful next step? That mindset turns victims into leaders. It turns chaos into progress. Also, stop expecting life to be fair. That mindset will trap you in endless disappointment. Life isn't fair. People won't always treat you right. You won't always get what you deserve. But you always have the power to choose your response. And that's enough. That's everything. Legendary leaders, elite athletes, Navy SEALs. They all train their minds to respond, not react. They simulate pressure. They rehearse adversity. They condition themselves to stay calm in high-stress situations. Because they know, in moments of pressure, the untrained mind breaks, the trained mind performs. You must do the same. Start small. Practice in daily life. When someone interrupts you, respond with patience. When things go wrong, don't complain, problem solve. When you feel overwhelmed, don't shut down, slow down. That's how you build a mindset that wins under pressure. And let's talk about control. You can't control what people say. You can't control the economy. You can't control whether it rains on your wedding day. But you can control how you carry yourself, what you focus on, and what you choose next. Most people spend their energy trying to control the uncontrollable and then wonder why they're exhausted. Wise people redirect that energy inward. They say, I can't control the storm, but I can control how I sail. This shift is the foundation of personal power. It's the reason some people stay composed in disaster, while others fall apart over small inconveniences. It's not genetics. It's not luck. It's mental training. Every time you choose a powerful response, you rewire your brain for strength. You recondition your nervous system to remain stable under stress. You start seeing yourself as someone who doesn't lose control. Not because life is easy, but because your mind is strong. And here's something most people never realize: your response shapes your identity. If you respond with anger, you become more angry. If you respond with fear, you become more fearful. But if you respond with courage, you become more courageous. Every response is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. So ask yourself daily, what kind of person do I want to be? Then respond like it. There's a saying in Stoic philosophy: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius knew that centuries ago. It's still true today. When life happens, and it will, don't give it your automatic reaction. Give it your trained, powerful, intentional response. Because at the end of the day, your life is not shaped by what happens to you. It's shaped by how you respond to what happens. Every obstacle is a test. Every frustration is a teacher. Every situation is a chance to rise above the noise and choose clarity over chaos. Choose power over panic. Choose growth over ego. And that choice, repeated daily, is how you build a mind that wins any situation. When you master your response, you start changing your reality. Not by force, but by wisdom. Not by fear, but by awareness. And once you step into that space of control, you stop being a victim of life and start becoming a creator of it. That is the mindset of warriors, leaders, and winners. And it's available to you. But you must train it every day, in every situation, until it becomes who you are. Control your response. Control the outcome. Control the outcome. Control your life. Chapter 3. Mastering the inner dialogue. Your mind is always talking. From the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, there's a voice narrating your day, judging your actions, replaying the past, and projecting the future. This inner dialogue is not random. It's deeply programmed by your beliefs, experiences, fears, and expectations. Most people let this voice run wild, unaware that it's shaping every decision, emotion, and outcome in their lives. If you want to train your mind to win in any situation, you must become the master of your inner dialogue. You must take control of that voice, rewrite its script, and turn it into your most powerful ally. The truth is, your mind listens to everything you say to yourself. Every thought plants a seed. Repeated thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs influence behavior, and behavior drives results. So if you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," "I always mess things up," or "people won't take me seriously," you're not just thinking negatively. You're programming your subconscious to sabotage your success. On the other hand, if you consistently feed your mind with empowering thoughts like, "I've got this," "Every challenge is making me stronger," or "I control my destiny," you're rewiring your brain for confidence, resilience, and growth. But mastering your inner dialogue is not about blind positivity. It's about conscious self-direction. It's about catching the thoughts that disempower you and choosing better ones. It's about becoming aware of the stories you tell yourself and rewriting them when they no longer serve your goals. Because most of the limitations in your life are not caused by your circumstances. They're caused by your self-talk. Let's take an example. Two people face the same challenge, a business failure. One person tells themselves, "I'm such a failure. I'll never succeed. I'm not cut out for this." The other person says, "This was a tough lesson, but now I know what not to do. I'm getting smarter. I'm building experience. I'll rise again." Same event, different inner dialogue, completely different future. One spirals downward, the other climbs upward. That's the power of thought. That's the power of trained inner language. To train your inner voice, you must first become aware of it. Most people don't even notice the thoughts they're thinking. They live on mental autopilot. But once you begin observing your internal dialogue like an outsider, without judgment, you can start identifying patterns. Is your inner voice critical? Is it fearful? Is it defensive? Is it doubtful? Take note, because awareness is the first step to transformation. The next step is interruption. When you catch yourself thinking something that weakens you, stop it. Interrupt the pattern. Say no in your mind. Say not true. Say cancel that. Then immediately replace it with something stronger, wiser, more empowering. For example, if you think, "I can't do this," stop and say, "This is new and I'm learning fast." If you think, "What if I fail?" stop and say, "What if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams?" This is not denial. It's direction. You're not ignoring reality. You're choosing which part of reality you want to reinforce. And don't underestimate the power of repetition. Your brain learns through repetition. If you constantly repeat empowering thoughts, they will eventually override the old, limiting ones. Just like a river carving new channels through stone, repeated thoughts create new neural pathways. That's how mental rewiring happens. That's how you reprogram your subconscious. That's how champions are built, not by chance, but by intentional, daily mental practice. You also need to understand the tone of your inner voice. Is it harsh or supportive? Is it shaming or encouraging? If you spoke to a friend the way you speak to yourself, would they feel empowered or destroyed? Many people are their own worst critics. They beat themselves up for every mistake. But winners talk to themselves like they would talk to a trusted teammate. With honesty, yes, but also with encouragement, compassion, and belief. Because you cannot hate yourself into greatness. You cannot shame yourself into transformation. You can only coach yourself forward, firmly but lovingly. A powerful inner dialogue is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about facing your challenges with strength. It's about telling yourself the truth, and then choosing what to do with it. It's about saying, "Yes, this is hard. Yes, I feel scared. But I am bigger than this. I've overcome before. I will overcome again." That's the voice of a trained mind. That's the voice that wins. And here's the secret most people miss. Your inner dialogue is not fixed. It's flexible. It can be redesigned. It can evolve. But only if you take charge, only if you stop being a passive listener and start being an active author of your inner script. Your mind is like a microphone and speaker system. What you say into it, it will echo back. So speak wisely. Speak with intention. Speak with power. Build a habit of daily mental conditioning. Start your day with affirmations that ground you in strength. Throughout the day, check in with your thoughts. Are they helping you or hurting you? At night, review your mental patterns. Where did you fall into doubt? Where did you rise in confidence? This level of mental discipline is not for the lazy, but it's the key to freedom. Because once you master your inner world, the outer world stops controlling you. And if you really want to accelerate your growth, write down the disempowering thoughts that haunt you most often. Then challenge them. Ask, is this true? Where did I learn this? What evidence do I have for the opposite being true? This process breaks mental illusions. It exposes the lies you've been telling yourself. And once those lies are gone, there's space for truth, for possibility, for progress. Every successful person you admire has mastered this game. They've trained their minds to speak to themselves in ways that empower action, resilience, and forward momentum. They've caught their inner critic and replaced it with an inner coach. And you can do the same. You must do the same. Because you will never outperform your self-image. You will never rise above the level of your inner narrative. Speak to yourself like a leader, like a warrior, like a champion in training. Speak as if your words are shaping your destiny, because they are. The way you talk to yourself in private determines how you show up in public. The way you narrate your story determines how you live it. So, rewrite the script, upgrade the language, train the voice. This is not just about motivation. It's about mental architecture. You're building a fortress of belief, a system of thoughts that support your highest potential. And once your inner world aligns with your outer goals, success stops being a struggle and becomes your natural state. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts, and you have the power to change them. Use that power. Train that voice. Win the inner game, and you'll start winning everything else. Chapter 4. Emotional Discipline. Winning the battle within. Every day you experience a spectrum of emotions, some empowering, some paralyzing. These emotions influence your behavior more than you realize. They affect your decisions, your tone, your focus, your ability to lead, and your ability to respond under pressure. Emotional discipline isn't about suppressing how you feel. It's about managing how you respond. It's about staying composed when everything around you is chaos. It's about not letting a bad moment turn into a bad day. If you want to train your mind to win any situation, mastering your emotions is not optional. It's essential. The truth is, most people are emotionally reactive. They allow circumstances to dictate their mood. Someone cuts them off in traffic, they explode. A conversation doesn't go their way, they shut down. A little stress arises, they spiral. This is mental slavery. When you're ruled by your emotions, you're giving away your power to everything and everyone outside of you. The weather, the news, a stranger's opinion, these things become your master. But when you develop emotional discipline, you become the master. You decide how you feel. You decide how to respond. You become untouchable. Not because life gets easier, but because your mind gets stronger. Let's get one thing clear. Emotions are not the enemy. Emotions are information. They're signals from within, telling you how something aligns or doesn't with your values, your desires, your fears. Anger tells you a boundary has been crossed. Fear warns you of danger. Sadness signals loss. Joy reveals connection. But these signals are not commands. Just because you feel anger doesn't mean you must lash out. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean you must retreat. Just because you feel sadness doesn't mean you must give up. Emotional discipline gives you the space between stimulus and response. In that space lies your power. Winners don't avoid emotions, they manage them. They sit with discomfort without being consumed by it. They feel fear and still take action. They feel pressure and still perform. That's what separates them from the average. Not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. So how do you build emotional discipline? It starts with awareness. Most people don't even realize when they're being hijacked by emotion. They snap without thinking. They sulk without knowing why. The first step is to pause. In any emotional situation, pause and breathe. This single habit, breathing, can interrupt 1,000 destructive patterns. A deep breath brings you back into the present moment. It gives your rational mind time to catch up. It opens the door to choice. Next, name the emotion. Don't generalize it. Be specific. Are you frustrated? Embarrassed? Disappointed? Insecure? Naming an emotion disarms it. It moves the experience from the reactive part of your brain, the amygdala, to the rational part, the prefrontal cortex. Once you name it, you can tame it. You can decide what to do with it. Then ask yourself, what's the story I'm telling myself that's fueling this emotion? Because emotions don't come from situations alone. They come from your interpretation of the situation. Two people can experience the same event and feel completely different based on the story they assign to it. One loses a job and thinks, I'm worthless. The other thinks, now I'm free to pursue what I really want. Same event, different story, different emotion, different result. This is where emotional discipline becomes mental alchemy, the ability to transform fear into courage, anger into clarity, anxiety into focus. How? By changing the meaning you assign to events, by training your mind to find the lesson instead of the loss, the opportunity instead of the obstacle, the strength instead of the suffering. This doesn't mean denying what you feel. It means using what you feel as fuel. One of the most powerful tools for building emotional discipline is visualization. Before a high-stakes situation, mentally rehearse how you want to feel and respond. See yourself staying calm. Hear yourself speaking clearly. Feel your body grounded. Athletes do this. Soldiers do this. Top performers in every field do this. Because your mind cannot tell the difference between vividly imagined and physically experienced. Rehearsing composure builds real-world composure. You must also protect your emotional environment. Who you surround yourself with matters. Some people feed your peace, others drain it. Some inspire courage, others infect you with fear. Be mindful of the energy you absorb. Protect your focus. Set boundaries. Guard your emotional state like it's sacred. Because it is. One negative person can disrupt your entire day. One toxic conversation can derail your clarity. If you want to win consistently, you must limit your exposure to emotional pollutants. Another key to emotional mastery is developing what Navy SEALs call command presence, the ability to remain emotionally centered even in the most chaotic environments. This presence comes from training, not talent. It's built through exposure to pressure. Every time you remain calm under stress, you build that muscle. Every time you stay grounded when it would be easy to snap, you're building command presence. It's not about never feeling emotion. It's about never being ruled by it. Journaling is another tool for emotional processing. At the end of each day, reflect. What emotions did you feel most strongly today? What triggered them? How did you respond? What would you do differently next time? This self-inquiry creates patterns of insight. You begin to notice what situations consistently hijack your emotions, and more importantly, what mental habits allow you to stay in control. You become a student of your own nervous system. Over time, as you develop emotional discipline, you begin to embody a powerful calm, not a fake stillness, but a deep-rooted composure. You become like a tree in the storm, bending, but not breaking. You stop being reactive and start becoming strategic. You stop being a slave to your feelings and start being a leader of them. And people will notice. They'll feel your stability. They'll trust your presence. They'll follow your energy. Because emotional discipline isn't just about you. It's about how you affect others. The ultimate goal is emotional sovereignty. A state where your mind is your own, your mood is your choice, and your reactions are intentional. A state where life can throw anything at you, and you remain unmoved. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough not to lose yourself. This is what makes a true warrior of the mind. Not brute strength, but unshakable balance. Not dominance over others, but command over self. You will face chaos. You will face doubt. You will feel fear, frustration, sadness, and anger. But those feelings don't define you. What defines you is what you do next. What defines you is how you rise above the emotional noise and act with clarity. That is the edge. That is the advantage. That is the mindset of someone who is trained to win, every time. Chapter 5. The Power of Mental Toughness. How to stay unshaken in any storm. When the pressure rises, most people collapse. They fold, they panic, they quit. But the ones who win, the real warriors, don't break. They don't run. They stand firm. They adapt. They endure. This ability isn't a gift. It's a skill. It's called mental toughness. And if you want to train your mind to win any situation, developing mental toughness is non-negotiable. It's the bridge between discomfort and dominance, between pain and performance, between fear and fulfillment. Mental toughness begins where motivation ends. It shows up when your energy is low, your mood is down, and your excuses are loud. It's what keeps you going when nothing else will. Motivation is easy when things are fun, when life is smooth, when success is visible. But mental toughness kicks in when the grind gets ugly, when the journey gets lonely, and when the results are nowhere in sight. It's not about hype. It's about heart. It's not about feeling strong. It's about staying strong. The first pillar of mental toughness is commitment to the process. Weak minds chase results. Tough minds fall in love with the process. Results come and go. The process stays. A mentally tough person doesn't train because they feel like it. They train because it's who they are. They show up regardless of mood, regardless of the weather, regardless of the outcome. Because showing up isn't optional. It's identity. The second pillar is adaptability. Mentally tough individuals don't get paralyzed by change. They pivot. Life will throw curveballs. Plans will fall apart. People will disappoint you. But mental toughness means adjusting without losing your mission. It means bending without breaking. It means finding new routes when the old ones are blocked. You don't cry about the wall. You build a ladder. You don't sit in the storm. You learn to dance in the rain. Next is resilience. Resilience is not just about getting back up. It's about getting back up stronger. It's about extracting wisdom from failure. It's about letting pain refine you, not define you. Mentally tough people don't see adversity as a curse. They see it as a classroom. Every hardship is a test. Every setback, a lesson. They ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" That shift in perspective turns defeat into growth. Then comes discipline. Discipline is the backbone of mental toughness. It's doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. It's the repetition that builds reputation. It's the unglamorous effort behind every success story. Anyone can be disciplined for a day, but mental toughness requires consistency. Consistency over time, in the face of resistance, in the absence of applause. That's what separates the pros from the amateurs. One of the most overlooked traits of mental toughness is emotional neutrality. This doesn't mean you're a robot. It means you don't let your highs get too high or your lows too low. When you win, stay humble. When you lose, stay focused. Keep your center. Don't get drunk on praise or crushed by criticism. Stay grounded. That emotional evenness allows you to perform under pressure, to think clearly in chaos, to stay strategic when everyone else is reactive. Another weapon in the mental toughness arsenal is controlled self-talk. Your inner voice is either your best coach or your worst critic. What you say to yourself in moments of pressure can make or break you. Train your self-talk to be empowering, clear, and focused. Not delusional, not fake positivity, but grounded, rational strength. This is hard, but I'm built for hard. I don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway. It's not about perfect, it's about progress. Speak to yourself like a champion, not a victim. Mental toughness also requires building a high pain tolerance, not just physical but emotional and psychological. Pain is inevitable, but how you relate to it is optional. When something hurts, instead of avoiding it, lean into it. Observe it. Study it. What's underneath that discomfort? What fear is hiding in that resistance? When you stop running from pain and start sitting with it, you develop a deep inner strength. Pain becomes familiar. Not enjoyable, but manageable. And what you can tolerate, you can transcend. Focus is another critical ingredient. Mentally tough people don't scatter their attention. They know what matters. They block distractions. They simplify. They narrow in. When the world pulls in every direction, they stay centered on their target. This focused energy is magnetic. It cuts through noise. It sharpens decision-making. It amplifies execution. And it's trained by saying no. No to temptation. No to excuses. No to anything that pulls you off course. There's also grit. The long-term stamina to pursue something even when progress is slow. Grit is when you keep going, not because it's exciting, but because it's worth it. It's the sustained effort behind every masterpiece. Talent might open the door, but grit builds the house, and grit is not something you're born with. It's built every time you resist the urge to quit. Surroundings play a huge role too. Your environment must support your toughness. That includes the people you hang around. Mentally weak people breed doubt, laziness, and fear. Mentally strong people challenge you, push you, and hold you accountable. If you want to grow tougher, align with those who already are. Steel sharpens steel. Lastly, mental toughness is built by doing hard things daily. Not massive things, but small hard things. Wake up early, take cold showers, finish your workouts, face that difficult conversation. Delay gratification. Push 1 inch further every day. Each act reinforces your self-image as someone who does what's difficult. Over time, that identity becomes unshakable. You no longer hope to be tough. You know you are. In the end, mental toughness isn't loud. It doesn't brag. It doesn't post about the grind. It's quiet, steady, relentless. It's invisible until tested. And when that test comes, when life hits, when plans fail, when the pressure's on, that's when it reveals itself. That's when you realize you've built something no one can take from you. The mind trained in toughness doesn't collapse. It adapts. It endures. It executes. It wins. Chapter 6. Decision-making under pressure. Think sharp, act smart, win fast. In life's toughest moments, your decisions shape your destiny. When chaos surrounds you, when emotions rise, when every second counts, what you choose to do can make or break everything. Winners are not the ones who make the perfect decision every time. They're the ones who can think clearly when the world is falling apart. They're the ones who train their minds to stay calm under fire, to choose wisely under stress, and to act swiftly with confidence. In this chapter, we explore how to make razor-sharp decisions under pressure. Because in high-stakes situations, Indecision is the enemy of victory. The first step in mastering decision-making under pressure is learning how to manage your emotional state. Pressure makes your heartbeat race, your thoughts scatter, and your fear center light up. But great decision makers don't react. They respond. They understand this rule. Control your emotions, or your emotions will control your judgment. You can't think clearly when you're drowning in panic or anger. So the moment pressure hits, pause, breathe. Slow everything down. Get out of your head and into the present. That breath is your anchor. That pause creates space. And in that space, you reclaim control. Next is clarity. When the heat rises, confusion becomes a trap. Mental fog leads to bad choices. So ask yourself one powerful question. What is the outcome I want? That single question cuts through the noise. It brings your focus back to the goal. Clarity is the antidote to chaos. Know what you want. Know why you want it. And don't let emotions blur that vision. When your purpose is clear, your decisions become clear. But clarity alone isn't enough. You must train your brain to simplify the complex. Under pressure, many people freeze because they overanalyze. They try to predict every scenario, solve every variable, and eliminate all risk. That's a trap. High-pressure moments don't reward perfection. They reward action. So, strip it down. What are the facts? What options do I have? What's the best move based on what I know right now? You don't need a perfect decision. You need a good decision fast. Speed matters. Momentum matters. Simplify and strike. Now comes the skill of prioritization. When everything feels urgent, nothing actually gets done. So train your mind to filter. What's critical right now? What can wait? What must be done first? Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Pressure creates noise. Your job is to find the signal. Make decisions that align with your highest priority, not your loudest problem. Then there's intuition. It's the silent guide honed through experience, reflection, and self-awareness. Under pressure, intuition is gold. You don't have time to calculate every angle. But if you've trained your instincts, if you've paid attention, learned from the past, and sharpened your awareness, your gut becomes a powerful compass. Don't ignore it. Combine logic with instinct. Marry analysis with awareness. That balance will make you deadly in any decision-making arena. Another secret to making great decisions under pressure is preparation. Champions don't wait for the moment to get ready. They train for it in advance. They rehearse possible scenarios. They study patterns. They practice responses. So when the heat is on, they don't panic. They execute. If you want to perform well under pressure, prepare before the pressure comes. Anticipate, simulate, drill until your reactions become automatic. The battlefield is not the time to learn. It's the time to perform what you've already mastered. Let's talk about detachment. One of the biggest decision-making killers is being too emotionally attached to an outcome. You're afraid of what people will think. You're scared of making the wrong choice. That fear clouds judgment. You need to detach from ego, from outcomes, from approval. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about truth and effectiveness than about comfort. Great decision makers are willing to be wrong because their identity isn't tied to being perfect. They care about the mission, not their pride. Also vital is the ability to make peace with uncertainty. No decision comes with guarantees. And that's okay. Don't waste time chasing certainty. Chase probability. Chase alignment with your values. Chase action. Once you've decided, commit. Burn the boats. Indecision drains energy. Overthinking paralyzes execution. You win not by being sure. You win by being committed. Own the choice. Make it work. Now let's explore the enemy of good decisions. Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of risk. Under pressure, fear can hijack your mind. But fear isn't real. It's a projection. It lives in the future. And you don't make strong decisions in the future. You make them in the now. So bring yourself back to the present. Ask, what can I control right now? Focus there. Fear loses its grip when you get grounded in action, when you lean in instead of pulling back, when you do what's needed despite what you feel. A sharp decision maker under pressure also understands time perception. Stress can warp time. Everything feels faster, more intense. But when your mind is trained, you can slow the moment down. You can stretch time through awareness. Stay in control. Don't rush recklessly, but don't stall either. Calm minds move efficiently. Your sense of timing is a superpower. Make the call. Make it clear. Then move. Confidence is the next piece. Not arrogance. Confidence. Confidence that comes from preparation, self-trust, and experience. Pressure exposes your level of belief. If you don't trust yourself, you'll hesitate. If you've trained for the moment, you'll lean in. Confidence under pressure comes from knowing, I can handle whatever happens next. Build that belief every day. Keep promises to yourself. Get competent. Stay consistent. Because in pressure moments, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training. The final key. Reflect after the decision. Pressure ends. The moment passes. But winners extract wisdom. They ask, what did I learn? What worked? What would I do differently? Every pressure decision becomes a rep. A rep that sharpens your edge, that builds your playbook, that elevates your ability to lead, to act, to win. And that's how you evolve. Not just from experience, but from examined experience. In conclusion, decision-making under pressure isn't a talent. It's a trained ability. It's the result of self-awareness, emotional control, preparation, confidence, and action. If you want to win, you must learn to think when others panic, to decide when others freeze, and to move when others doubt. The mind that can decide quickly, clearly, and correctly under fire is unstoppable. Chapter 7. Building Unshakable Self-Belief. Own the battle within. If you don't believe in yourself, the world never will. It all begins in your mind. Before you take the shot, before you speak the words, before you make the move, there is a whisper inside that says either, I can, or I can't. And that whisper becomes your reality. Self-belief is not a gift. It is a decision, a muscle, a habit. And if you want to win in any situation, if you want to rise when everything says fall, you must train your mind to believe in your worth, your strength, and your ability to overcome. Self-belief isn't arrogance. It's not delusion. It's knowing who you are, owning your value, and refusing to shrink just because life gets loud. The first truth you must accept is this. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you belief on a silver platter. You have to build it, brick by brick. Every small promise you keep to yourself. Every hard thing you do when it's easier to quit. Every time you show up for your future self. That's how belief is born. You become your own proof. It's not about shouting affirmations into the mirror. It's about looking at your past struggles and saying, if I got through that, I can get through this. You build self-belief by remembering who the hell you are. One of the greatest enemies of belief is comparison. When you look at others and feel behind, you rob yourself of your own power. Your journey is yours. Your timing is yours. Your growth is unique. You are not late. You are not less. And you don't have to be like anyone else to be powerful. Winners don't compare. They create. They build their own lane. They use others as inspiration, not validation. The mind trained in self-belief doesn't ask, am I good enough compared to them? It says, how can I become better than I was yesterday? To strengthen belief, you must also challenge the inner critic. We all have it. That voice that says, "You're not ready, not smart enough, not worthy." But here's the secret. That voice is not truth. It's fear. It's old programming. And you get to rewire it. You get to choose a new voice. When that critic whispers, "You'll fail," you respond, "Even if I fail, I'll rise again." When it says, "You're not qualified," you say, "I'm getting better every day." You don't wait for confidence to arrive. You create it in the fire of repetition. Every time you speak against doubt, you reprogram belief. Action is the fuel of self-belief. The more you act, the more evidence you build that you are capable. Thinking doesn't build belief. Doing does. When you take steps forward, no matter how small, you shift your identity from a doubter to a doer. You become someone who moves in the face of fear, and that's how confidence is earned. It's not that winners are fearless. It's that they've trained themselves to act in spite of fear, again and again, until fear shrinks and belief expands. Another pillar of belief is environment. Who you surround yourself with matters. If you constantly hear doubt, negativity, and limitation, your belief will erode. Protect your space. Limit access to your mind. Surround yourself with people who speak life, who remind you of your power, who reflect your future, not your past. Sometimes you have to be your own loudest supporter, but never underestimate the impact of energy around you. Build a tribe that strengthens belief, not drains it. You must also set standards. People with strong self-belief don't tolerate what breaks them. They don't stay where they're not valued. They don't keep habits that weaken them. They raise the bar, and that bar becomes their boundary. Every time you say no to something beneath you, you say yes to the person you're becoming. Belief grows when your actions reflect your value. You can't expect to believe in yourself while living in a way that contradicts your worth. Align your life with your vision, and belief will follow. Resilience is a belief multiplier. When life knocks you down, and it will, your ability to rise is your declaration of belief. Failure doesn't destroy belief unless you let it. Every setback is a test. Will you shrink, or will you sharpen? Will you blame, or will you build? The mind trained in self-belief says, "This is hard, but I am harder." It understands that resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being unstoppable. You can fall 100 times, but if you believe, you will rise 101. Gratitude is another powerful tool. When you train your mind to see what's working, what's improving, what's possible, you shift your energy from lack to strength. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the struggle. It means fueling yourself with perspective. It means saying, "Yes, things are tough, but look how far I've come." When you appreciate your progress, you reinforce belief. When you focus on what you can do instead of what you can't, your confidence rises. Gratitude anchors you in reality, and reality is that you're stronger than you think. Let's talk about identity. True self-belief is not built on what you do. It's built on who you decide to be. When you shift your identity from someone trying to win to someone who already is a winner in mindset, your actions change. You don't try to be confident. You live as someone who already is. You don't chase success. You align with the version of yourself who attracts it. Everything starts with identity. Who are you becoming? What does that version of you believe? Act like them now. Think like them now. Speak like them now. And your external life will catch up with your internal shift. One more truth. Belief is not about being certain of the outcome. It's about being certain of your ability to handle whatever comes. Life is unpredictable. But belief says, no matter what happens, I trust myself. That's the real power. Not control, not perfection, but self-trust. If you train your mind to trust your growth, your decisions, your strength, there is nothing you can't handle. That's unshakable belief. That's the power within you. In the end, belief is the battlefield before the battlefield. If you win the war in your mind, you'll win in the world. Train your mind every day. Speak life over yourself. Take bold action. Keep showing up. And watch your self-belief rise to a level so strong, nothing can shake it. Chapter 8. The Art of Emotional Control. Win without losing yourself. Power doesn't lie in domination or aggression. True power is emotional control. It's the ability to stand tall when chaos hits, to stay grounded when people push your buttons, to walk through storms with calm clarity. The one who wins is not the loudest, not the most aggressive, but the one who never lets their emotions control their response. When your mind is trained to remain in charge, regardless of external triggers, you become undefeatable. Emotional control is not about suppressing what you feel. It's about mastering how you express it. Emotions are messengers. Anger, fear, frustration, they're signals, not instructions. A trained mind listens to them without letting them take the wheel. Most people are reactive. They explode, they panic, they shut down. But when you want to win in any situation, reactivity is your enemy. You need presence. You need poise. You need to own your state before the situation owns you. This is where your real training begins, not just in success, but in discomfort. Not when everything is smooth, but when you're tested, pressured, provoked. Imagine you're in a heated conversation. Your heart's racing. Your ego is bruised. You want to lash out. But pause. In that pause lies your power. One breath, one moment of awareness. That's all it takes to choose mastery over madness. You remind yourself, I am not my emotion. I am the observer. I respond. I don't react. That moment changes everything. You go from victim to leader. You go from chaos to control. And every time you choose that pause, you train your brain to handle more with less stress. There's a rule in war. Never let the enemy know what rattles you. The same rule applies in life. When people can predict your emotional responses, they can manipulate you. But when you remain composed, when your emotions are no longer easy to trigger, you gain power over every situation. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means stability. It means you can care without crumbling. You can feel without folding. You can lead without losing control. Training your mind for emotional mastery requires brutal self-honesty. You must learn your patterns. What triggers you? What stories do you tell yourself in moments of pain? What beliefs fuel your emotional spirals? You cannot master what you won't admit. Self-awareness is the first gate to emotional control. Keep a journal. Reflect. Notice how you react, and then dig deeper. Ask, what am I really feeling? What am I afraid of? What do I need right now? The more you understand yourself, the more power you reclaim. Let's talk about anger. Anger is a mask. It usually hides deeper emotions, fear, rejection, insecurity. But when left unchecked, anger becomes a wrecking ball. You can't think clearly when you're in rage. You say things you can't take back. You burn bridges you'll later regret. So the mind trained to win doesn't suppress anger. It channels it. It converts anger into clarity, into action, into drive. It asks, what needs to change? And then it moves with focus, not fury. Because rage is noise, but focus is fire. Now think about fear. Fear distorts reality. It shrinks your vision, clouds your judgment, convinces you that comfort is safety. But fear is also a compass. It shows you where your growth is. The trick is not to eliminate fear. It's to learn how to move with it, to take it by the hand and walk anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling fear and choosing power. The mind that wins whispers, I see the fear, and I'm going forward anyway. Frustration is another trap. When things don't go your way, when plans collapse, when people disappoint you, frustration can take over. But frustration is just unmet expectation. Instead of getting stuck in irritation, you pivot. You adapt. You recalibrate. The strongest minds are flexible. They bend, they adjust, they improvise. Emotional control is not rigidity. It's fluid power. It's the ability to flow with what is, not fight what can't be changed. That flexibility gives you the edge. You must also watch your words. Language shapes emotion. When you say, "I'm overwhelmed," your body believes it. But if you say, "I'm managing a lot right now, and I've handled worse," your body aligns with strength. Don't use weak language to describe strong moments. Speak power even when you're pressured. Your inner dialogue becomes your emotional thermostat. Speak like someone who wins battles without making a mess. Let's be clear. Emotional control is not about being a robot. It's about being emotionally intelligent. It's the ability to feel everything without letting it hijack your purpose. It's responding with maturity, not instinct. It's being able to sit in discomfort without escaping it, process pain without projecting it, and remain calm in situations designed to provoke you. You become the eye of the storm, not because you don't feel the chaos, but because you've trained your mind to stay still within it. Mindfulness is your weapon here. Practicing presence, breathing deeply, grounding yourself in the now. These are not soft skills. They are survival tools. They are how you stay clear when everything else blurs. Meditation, even for 5 minutes a day, strengthens your emotional command center. Visualization helps too. Picture yourself staying calm in your most stressful situations. Rehearse grace under pressure. The brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined experience, so train it in both. There will be moments when you slip, when emotion gets the best of you. That's not failure. It's feedback. Reflect. Learn. Get better. Every emotional outburst is an opportunity for refinement. The goal isn't to never feel. It's to never let feelings derail your mission. Growth is messy, but consistent training leads to control. And control leads to clarity. And clarity leads to dominance. In relationships, emotional control is gold. You listen without interrupting. You communicate without attacking. You handle disagreement with maturity, not manipulation. And when you do, people trust you more. They follow your lead. You win their respect, not because you overpower, but because you outcenter them. Calm is magnetic. It's the quiet confidence of someone who has mastered themselves. In high-pressure environments, negotiations, crises, failures, the one who controls their emotional state controls the outcome. Decisions made in chaos are rarely the right ones. So you breathe. You zoom out. You take time before reacting. And you trust that emotional control is your competitive advantage. It helps you think faster, move smarter, and win cleaner. The ultimate measure of strength is not how loud you are. It's how still you can be when everything is shaking. Emotional control gives you that stillness. It turns breakdowns into breakthroughs. And it builds a reputation. Unshakable, dependable, unmovable. When your emotions serve you instead of rule you, you become a leader. You stop chasing control outside and you own the throne within. Train daily. Reflect constantly. Choose presence over panic. Choose strength over reaction. Choose your mission over your momentary mood. That's how the mind wins. And that's how you win every situation without ever losing yourself. Chapter 9. Mental Endurance. Outlasting the storm. In every challenge, it's not the smartest or the strongest who rise. It's the one who lasts. Mental endurance is the discipline to keep going long after motivation fades, long after things stop being exciting, long after the world says you should quit. Winning is not about bursts of energy. It's about sustained power. It's about holding your line when everything tries to break you. The storms will come. The pressure will mount. But when your mind is trained to endure, you become the last one standing. Endurance isn't glamorous. It's gritty. It's silent. It's the decision to get up every day and do what must be done, even when no one is clapping, even when no one believes in you, even when the results are invisible. Most people give up because they confuse pain with failure. But pain is a part of the process. It's not the enemy. It's the entry fee. If you're willing to keep going while others look for comfort, you build an inner momentum that becomes unstoppable. Mental endurance is built in repetition. It's built in doing the hard things over and over and over again without needing to be rescued, without needing to feel amazing every time. It's built when you train your mind to understand that consistency is power, that small efforts compounded over time outperform big, inconsistent actions. A mind trained for endurance doesn't chase dopamine, it chases discipline. It finds joy, not in reward, but in progress. Not in ease, but in effort. You have to embrace the boredom. Greatness lives in the mundane. Champions don't rise because they're always inspired. They rise because they don't need to be. They've built a system. They show up whether they feel like it or not. That's mental toughness. That's long game focus. You won't always feel motivated, but you can always choose commitment. You won't always feel strong, but you can always choose to try again. When fatigue sets in, most people lower their standards. They start making excuses. But you must train your mind to tighten your standards when you're tired. That's when champions are made. In the 11th hour. When there's no applause. When it's just you, your work, your discomfort, and your decision to keep going. Mental endurance is knowing that how you show up when it's hard determines whether you ever reach the finish line. You need a strong why to fuel your endurance. Without purpose, pain breaks you. But with purpose, pain refines you. Ask yourself, why does this matter? What am I fighting for? What's on the other side of this struggle? When your reason is strong enough, you can endure anything. Let your why anchor you in the storm. Let it remind you that discomfort is temporary, but giving up can cost you everything. Build rituals that reinforce your mental endurance. Wake up early. Train your body. Read powerful words. Reflect. Meditate. Repeat. These aren't just habits, they're declarations. Each act of discipline sends a message to your brain. We don't quit. We show up. We finish what we start. You don't build endurance by thinking about it. You build it by acting like the person you want to become, even when you're tired, even when you're uninspired. Resilience and endurance are close allies. When life knocks you down, resilience helps you get back up, but endurance keeps you moving forward. They feed each other. Every time you get back up, you strengthen your will. Every step forward builds faith, and over time, that faith becomes belief. That belief becomes identity. You become someone who doesn't break, who doesn't give up, who doesn't settle. And when you believe that about yourself, the world begins to treat you accordingly. Understand this. Delays are not denials. Just because it's taking longer than you thought, doesn't mean it's not working. The seed is growing even when you can't see it. Don't dig it up in doubt. Water it in faith. Keep showing up. Endurance means trusting the process, even when the progress is invisible. It means moving forward even when there's no applause, no validation, no results. Because you're not doing it for the immediate reward. You're doing it to become someone unstoppable. Protect your energy. Endurance isn't just about pushing. It's about pacing. You don't burn out a candle by lighting it once. You burn it by leaving it lit too long without control. Take breaks. Recover well. Fuel your body. Nourish your mind. Rest is not weakness, it's strategy. The mind trained to win understands the rhythm of war. Attack, rest, attack again. Endurance is sustained power, not reckless output. Mentally tough people expect setbacks. They know things won't go to plan. They anticipate resistance. That's why they don't crumble when obstacles show up. They adjust, they adapt, they pivot, and they continue. Endurance means building the flexibility to keep moving forward in new ways, even when the path gets blocked. You find a new door. You carve a new road. You refuse to stop because stopping is no longer part of your identity. You also have to master your self-talk. In long battles, your greatest enemy isn't the outside world. It's the voice in your head that says, "This is too hard. You're too tired. It's not worth it." Shut it down. Replace it with power phrases. "I've handled worse. I am built for this. Keep going. I'm almost there." That voice becomes your coach. And the more you speak strength into your struggle, the more natural endurance becomes. Pain is not the problem. Quitting is. Hard doesn't mean stop. Hard means grow. The struggle is the signal that you're doing something meaningful. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But you are not everyone. You are the one who keeps showing up. The one who refuses to let exhaustion become an excuse. The one who trains their mind not for the sprint, but for the marathon. Endurance gives you the edge. In business, in fitness, in relationships, in war. The one who lasts wins. Not because they didn't suffer, but because they didn't stop. When others fell, they kept walking. When others cried, they kept building. When others gave up, they leaned in. This is what separates the average from the unstoppable. Train your mind to endure discomfort, to walk through pressure, to show up empty if necessary, but to show up nonetheless. The mind that endures becomes the mind that leads. That dominates, that breaks limits. Your future will be shaped by how long you're willing to stay in the fight. So ask yourself now, are you built to last? Then prove it. Every day, every step, every choice. Chapter 10. The Power of Visualization. Seeing victory before it happens. Winning starts in the mind long before it shows up in reality. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools to train your mind to win any situation. When you vividly imagine success, your brain begins to build neural pathways that prepare you to perform at your best. The clearer and more detailed your mental picture, the stronger your brain's blueprint becomes for actual achievement. This isn't wishful thinking, it's neurological training. Elite athletes, top performers, and high achievers use visualization daily. They see themselves completing the race, closing the deal, acing the presentation, or mastering the challenge before it even happens. This mental rehearsal reduces anxiety, sharpens focus, and increases confidence. When the real moment arrives, their mind and body already know what to do because they have practiced it internally countless times. To harness visualization effectively, start by finding a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take deep breaths. Now, paint a clear picture in your mind of the situation you want to conquer. Imagine every detail, what you see, hear, feel, even smell and taste if relevant. Picture yourself calm, confident, and composed. Feel the emotions of success, pride, relief, joy. Engage all your senses to make the experience as real as possible. Don't just visualize the outcome. Visualize the process. See yourself overcoming obstacles, handling setbacks gracefully, adjusting strategies, and pushing through discomfort. This mental practice prepares you not only for victory, but for the hard work it requires. It builds resilience and flexibility by showing your brain that challenges are part of the journey, not reasons to quit. Repetition is key. Make visualization a daily ritual. Spend 5 to 10 minutes every day running through your mental movie. The more you do it, the more your subconscious mind adopts the winning mindset. You start to believe in your ability to succeed, which affects your actions and decisions throughout the day. Confidence grows because your mind is rehearsed for success, not fear. Visualization also helps control negative thoughts and self-doubt. When anxiety creeps in, replace the fear with a mental image of yourself succeeding despite the doubts. This trains your brain to default to strength rather than weakness. Over time, you condition your mind to expect victory, which creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. Combine visualization with affirmations to reinforce your mental training. Speak powerful, positive statements as you visualize. I am prepared. I am capable. I am unstoppable. These words strengthen your belief system and reduce resistance. Your mind cannot hold a negative thought and a positive affirmation at the same time. They compete. Choose to feed it with success and strength. It's also important to visualize failure and how you will respond. Imagine setbacks, mistakes, or moments of doubt. See yourself reacting with calm, clarity, and problem solving. This reduces the shock factor when difficulties arise and makes you mentally prepared to bounce back quickly. You build a mental roadmap for recovery, which is essential for winning long term. Many people neglect visualization because it feels like daydreaming or wishful thinking, but nothing could be further from the truth. Visualization is focused mental practice, the kind that rewires your brain to perform better. It complements physical training and hard work by aligning your subconscious with your goals. Remember, your mind doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. If you can't train your mind through real experiences every time, visualization becomes the next best thing. It creates muscle memory, enhances concentration, and builds emotional control. The mind trained through visualization is prepared for anything. To maximize the benefits, record your visualization sessions or create a vision board with images that represent your goals and dreams. Place reminders where you will see them daily. This keeps your mind anchored to the future you want to create. Your subconscious will work behind the scenes to help manifest what you constantly focus on. Practice visualization, especially before high-pressure moments. Important meetings, competitions, presentations, or decisions. This mental rehearsal calms nerves and primes your brain for excellence. It's like a dress rehearsal that eliminates surprises and boosts performance. The power of visualization extends beyond personal success. Leaders use it to inspire teams, strategize growth, and navigate complex challenges. Entrepreneurs visualize business success to attract opportunities and solve problems creatively. Athletes visualize winning to push through pain and fatigue. Students visualize mastery to improve learning and test performance. Visualization is a universal tool to shape reality. Training your mind to see victory before it happens rewires your brain for success. It builds confidence, reduces fear, improves focus, and prepares you mentally for any situation. When you combine visualization with consistent action, discipline, and endurance, you create an unstoppable force within yourself. The key is to practice daily, engage all senses, visualize both success and challenges, and pair mental rehearsal with powerful affirmations. Your mind will begin to accept winning as the natural outcome. You become someone who doesn't just hope for success, you expect it. And when you expect victory, your actions follow suit, leading you to triumph in any situation. Chapter 11. Emotional Mastery. Controlling the inner weather. Winning any situation isn't just about mental toughness or skills. It's about managing your emotions. Your emotions are like the weather inside your mind. Sometimes they're sunny and calm, other times stormy and chaotic. The key to training your mind to win is learning to control this inner weather, to prevent your feelings from controlling your decisions and actions. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings, but about understanding, managing, and using them to your advantage. When you face pressure, stress, or conflict, your emotions naturally react. Fear, anger, frustration, and doubt can cloud your judgment and derail your performance. The people who consistently win are those who have learned to recognize these emotions early and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This ability to pause, reflect, and choose your response is the hallmark of emotional intelligence and a winning mindset. The first step in emotional mastery is awareness. Start by noticing your emotional triggers. What situations or thoughts cause your mood to shift? How do you physically feel when stress rises? Do your muscles tense? Does your breath become shallow? By becoming aware of these signs, you gain control before emotions take over. Mindfulness practices like meditation or journaling help sharpen this awareness and give you space to respond wisely. Next, learn to label your emotions clearly. Saying, "I'm feeling frustrated" or "I'm feeling anxious" creates distance between you and the emotion. This distance allows you to observe your feelings without becoming overwhelmed. It's like stepping back to watch a storm pass instead of being caught in the rain. When you can name your emotions, you take the first step to managing them rather than being managed by them. Once you recognize and label your emotions, use techniques to regulate them. Deep, slow breathing calms your nervous system. Visualization of peaceful scenes lowers tension. Positive self-talk replaces negative spirals. Sometimes, a brief physical activity like a walk or stretching releases built-up stress. These tools help you regain emotional balance and clarity. Importantly, understand that emotions are information, not instructions. Feeling fear doesn't mean you must flee. Feeling anger doesn't mean you must lash out. Emotions signal something important, but your actions determine your outcome. Training your mind to win means responding to emotions with intention, not impulse. Emotional mastery also involves shifting your mindset about difficult feelings. Instead of resisting discomfort, welcome it as a sign you're growing or facing something meaningful. When you see stress or anxiety as your mind preparing for a challenge, rather than as threats, you change your physiological response. Your body releases energy to focus and perform instead of freezing or panicking. Practice reframing emotional experiences regularly. For example, if you feel nervous before a presentation, remind yourself that this energy sharpens your senses. If you feel rejected or criticized, view it as feedback that can help you improve rather than a personal attack. This mental shift turns emotions from enemies into allies. Another powerful tool in emotional mastery is gratitude. When you train your mind to focus on what's going well, on what you have instead of what you lack, you build emotional resilience. Gratitude reduces stress hormones and increases feelings of well-being. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but balancing your perspective so you stay grounded and optimistic, even in tough times. Strong emotional intelligence also means developing empathy for others. Understanding the emotions of people around you improves your communication, conflict resolution, and leadership. When you connect emotionally, you build trust and influence. Winning situations often involve others, so mastering your emotions in social contexts gives you an edge. Remember that emotional mastery is a lifelong practice, not a one-time fix. You will face setbacks, slip into old patterns, and feel overwhelmed at times. The difference is how quickly you recognize these moments and return to calm, centered presence. This recovery speed defines your mental strength and your ability to win. Finally, surround yourself with emotional role models and support systems. Learn from people who handle pressure with grace. Seek mentors, coaches, or friends who encourage emotional growth. Build habits that reinforce calm, focus, and positivity. The environment you create helps train your mind to maintain emotional control consistently. When you master your emotions, you unlock a powerful source of energy, clarity, and motivation. You become someone who can face any challenge without losing composure, who can inspire others by example, who can turn setbacks into setups for success. Emotional mastery is not optional for winners, it's essential. Train your mind to control the inner weather. Watch your feelings, label them, regulate them, reframe them, and use them to fuel your drive. This skill will transform how you approach every situation and give you the confidence to win, no matter what storms come your way. Chapter 12. Building Unshakable Confidence. Your winning armor. Confidence is the invisible armor that protects you in every battle, whether it's a professional challenge, a personal goal, or a high-pressure moment. Without confidence, even the best skills and plans can crumble under pressure. But confidence isn't something you're simply born with. It's a mindset you build and train, just like any other muscle in your mind. Building unshakable confidence is essential to training your mind to win any situation. Many people mistake confidence for arrogance or overestimating their abilities. True confidence is quiet, steady, and grounded in reality. It's the belief that no matter what happens, you have what it takes to handle it. It's the inner voice that says, "I've prepared. I'm ready. I can adapt." This belief shapes how you show up in the world and how others respond to you. Confidence starts with competence. The more you practice and prepare, the more your brain builds a foundation of real skills. This foundation is crucial because false confidence, confidence without preparation, can lead to failure. Commit to continuous learning and improvement. Break down your goals into smaller tasks and master them one at a time. Each success, no matter how small, adds a brick to your confidence wall. Another powerful way to build confidence is through positive self-talk. Your mind constantly narrates your experience. If this internal dialogue is filled with doubt, criticism, or fear, your confidence will erode. Train yourself to catch negative thoughts and replace them with empowering ones. Instead of "I can't do this," say, "I'm capable and I will figure it out." Instead of "I'm not good enough," say, "I'm improving every day." This mental habit rewires your brain to expect success. Visualization also plays a key role in confidence. See yourself succeeding before it happens. Imagine walking into a room with calm assurance, delivering your message with clarity, and handling obstacles with grace. When you mentally rehearse success, your subconscious mind adopts this as reality, boosting your confidence in real situations. Facing fears head-on builds confidence like nothing else. Avoiding challenges keeps fear alive and confidence low. Seek out opportunities to step outside your comfort zone regularly. Start small and gradually increase the difficulty. Each time you confront a fear, your brain releases dopamine and endorphins, rewarding you with a sense of accomplishment and increasing your belief in yourself. Remember that confidence isn't about being perfect or never failing. It's about resilience and courage. Everyone fails sometimes. Confident people see failure as feedback and a stepping stone to growth. When you accept mistakes as part of the learning process, your confidence becomes unshakable because it's based on experience, not perfection. Surround yourself with supportive people who believe in you and encourage your growth. Negative influences can chip away at your confidence, so cultivate relationships that uplift you. Share your goals with trusted friends or mentors who can remind you of your strengths when you doubt yourself. Body language also influences confidence. Stand tall, make eye contact, and speak clearly. The mind and body are connected, so acting confidently, even if you don't feel it at first, can actually trigger real feelings of confidence. Practice power poses or breathing techniques before challenging situations to ground yourself. Developing unshakable confidence requires patience and persistence. It won't happen overnight, but with consistent effort, your confidence will grow stronger. Celebrate your progress and remind yourself that confidence is a skill you can train like any other. When your confidence is solid, you approach every situation with calm assurance. You take risks without fear holding you back. You inspire others by your example. You become the person who wins, not just because of talent or luck, but because you believe deeply in your ability to succeed. Your confidence is your winning armor. Wear it proudly, build it daily, and let it carry you through every challenge. The more you invest in your confidence, the more unstoppable you become. Chapter 13. Cultivating Focus. The mind's sharpest weapon. Focus is the sharp edge that cuts through distractions and noise, allowing you to direct your energy and attention where it matters most. Winning any situation requires the ability to concentrate deeply on your goals, tasks, and decisions, without getting pulled off course. Yet, in a world overflowing with information, interruptions, and constant stimuli, focus has become a rare and valuable skill. Training your mind to win means mastering the art of unwavering focus. The first step to cultivating focus is understanding how your attention works. Your brain naturally seeks novelty and can become easily distracted by external stimuli or wandering thoughts. This isn't a flaw but an evolutionary feature that once kept us safe. However, in today's environment, this tendency can undermine your productivity and mental clarity. Recognizing this helps you take conscious control rather than reacting automatically. One effective technique to build focus is to break your work into manageable chunks, often called the Pomodoro technique. Set a timer for 25 minutes and commit to working with full attention during that time. Then, take a short break of 5 minutes before repeating. This structure trains your brain to concentrate in bursts and prevents burnout. Over time, you'll find your ability to sustain attention increases naturally. Creating a distraction-free environment is equally important. Turn off unnecessary notifications, close tabs that aren't relevant, and set boundaries with people around you during focus periods. The fewer interruptions, the easier it is to maintain deep concentration. If your environment is chaotic or cluttered, spend time organizing your space. A clean, dedicated workspace signals to your brain that it's time to focus. Mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool to enhance focus. By practicing observing your thoughts without judgment and gently bringing your attention back to the present moment, you strengthen your brain's ability to control wandering attention. Even 5 minutes a day can improve your concentration, mental clarity, and stress resilience. Train your mind to prioritize. Not every task deserves equal attention. Use techniques like Eisenhower's urgent important matrix to identify what truly moves you closer to your goals. Focus on high-impact activities rather than getting lost in busy work. This focus on priorities maximizes your effort and prevents wasting energy on distractions. Another key aspect is managing your energy, not just your time. Notice when during the day you feel most alert and creative, and schedule your most challenging tasks then. Protect that peak energy time fiercely. When your body and mind are well rested, hydrated, and nourished, focus comes easier. Don't underestimate the power of physical well-being on mental performance. Technology can be both a friend and a foe to focus. Use apps that block distracting sites or limit social media time, but be cautious not to rely solely on external tools. True focus comes from within. Strengthen your internal discipline by setting clear intentions before starting work. Ask yourself, what is my goal? What outcome am I working toward? Keeping your purpose front and center fuels your attention. When distractions arise, and they will, practice gentle redirection. Notice when your mind drifts, acknowledge it without judgment, and bring your attention back to the task. This practice builds mental resilience and prevents frustration. Over time, your mind becomes like a trained athlete, ready to snap back into focus at will. Remember, focus isn't about ignoring everything else in life. It's about choosing where to place your attention deliberately. It's the foundation of deep work, creativity, and problem solving. Without focus, effort scatters and progress slows. With focus, small actions compound into significant wins. Train your mind daily to sharpen your focus like a blade. Protect it from distractions, prioritize your tasks, manage your energy, and practice mindfulness. This mental discipline will elevate your performance, deepen your learning, and empower you to win in any situation by giving your best where it counts most. Chapter 14. Developing Resilience. Bouncing Back Stronger. Resilience is the mental muscle that allows you to bounce back from setbacks, failures, and adversity. It's not just about surviving challenges, but growing stronger because of them. When you train your mind to win any situation, resilience becomes one of your greatest assets. Life will inevitably throw obstacles your way, but how you respond to those obstacles defines your success. The foundation of resilience lies in your mindset. People with resilient minds view difficulties as temporary and manageable, rather than permanent and overwhelming. This perspective helps reduce stress and fuels problem solving. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" resilient individuals ask, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can I move forward despite this?" One of the most effective ways to build resilience is to develop a strong sense of purpose. Knowing why you are pursuing your goals and what truly matters to you provides a powerful anchor during tough times. Purpose fuels motivation and perseverance, even when progress slows or setbacks occur. Reflect regularly on your values and mission to keep your purpose clear and alive. Resilience also grows through self-compassion. When things go wrong, it's easy to fall into harsh self-criticism or blame. This negative inner dialogue drains your energy and confidence. Instead, practice treating yourself with kindness and understanding. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes and faces challenges. Talk to yourself as you would to a good friend, offering encouragement and patience. Building a support network is another key to resilience. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, challenge you constructively, and provide emotional support. Resilient people don't go it alone. They ask for help, share their struggles, and connect with others. Social support buffers stress and offers new perspectives that help you adapt. Physical health directly impacts mental resilience. Regular exercise, adequate sleep, and healthy nutrition improve your brain's ability to cope with stress. When your body feels strong and rested, your mind is better equipped to handle challenges. Pay attention to your physical well-being as part of your resilience training. Adopting flexible thinking enhances resilience. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned. Being rigid in your expectations leads to frustration and discouragement. Instead, cultivate adaptability by viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat. Flexible thinkers look for alternative solutions, adjust goals when necessary, and maintain optimism about the future. Resilience is also about managing your emotions effectively. Intense feelings like fear, anger, or sadness can be overwhelming during adversity. Use emotional mastery techniques, deep breathing, labeling emotions, mindfulness, to stay calm and focused. When you regulate your emotions, you think more clearly and make better decisions under pressure. One of the most inspiring aspects of resilience is post-traumatic growth. The idea that people often emerge from hardships stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Challenges, when approached with the right mindset, become catalysts for profound personal growth. Keep a journal to reflect on your experiences, lessons learned, and progress made. This reflection reinforces resilience and builds mental strength. Finally, practice gratitude, even in difficult times. Recognizing what's still good in your life shifts your focus from loss to abundance. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but creates space for hope and positive emotions, which are essential for resilience. Resilience is not a fixed trait, but a skill you cultivate through intentional habits and mindset shifts. The more you train your mind to recover quickly, adapt flexibly, and stay purpose-driven, the more unstoppable you become. Resilience turns setbacks into setups for success, making you a true winner in any situation. Chapter 15. Mastering Emotional Intelligence. the key to mental victory. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions while also navigating the emotions of others. It's a crucial factor in training your mind to win any situation because emotions influence every decision, interaction, and reaction you have. Mastering emotional intelligence allows you to stay calm under pressure, communicate effectively, and build stronger relationships, all essential for success. The first step to improving your EQ is self-awareness. Pay attention to your feelings throughout the day. Notice how emotions arise in response to events, thoughts, or people. Self-awareness is like holding a mirror up to your mind, helping you understand what triggers your emotional responses. When you identify your emotions early, you can choose how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. Next comes self-regulation, the ability to manage your emotional reactions. This doesn't mean suppressing feelings, but rather controlling how you express them. Techniques like deep breathing, pausing before responding, or reframing negative thoughts help you maintain emotional balance. Self-regulation prevents you from making decisions based on anger, fear, or frustration, allowing clearer, more strategic thinking. Empathy is the third pillar of emotional intelligence. It's the capacity to understand and share the feelings of others. Empathy deepens your connections and enables you to respond to people in ways that foster trust and cooperation. To build empathy, practice active listening. Focus fully on what others are saying without planning your response or judging. Ask questions to clarify and validate their experience. Social skills, including effective communication and conflict resolution, are also critical. Winning situations often involve collaboration, negotiation, or leadership. Developing these skills helps you influence others positively, build consensus, and handle disagreements constructively. Practice clear, assertive communication and strive to find win-win solutions when conflicts arise. Emotional intelligence also enhances resilience. When you understand and manage your emotions, you recover from setbacks more quickly. You can face challenges without becoming overwhelmed or discouraged. EQ helps you maintain optimism and motivation, which fuels persistence in pursuing your goals. Improving EQ is a lifelong process that requires practice and reflection. Keep a journal of emotional experiences, noting triggers, responses, and outcomes. This awareness guides your growth. Seek feedback from trusted friends or mentors to identify blind spots and areas for improvement. When your emotional intelligence is strong, your mind becomes a calm, clear command center, even in chaotic situations. You respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively. You connect deeply with others and inspire confidence. Emotional intelligence turns potential mental roadblocks into stepping stones for success. Master this key skill, and your mind will be equipped to win not only in isolated moments, but consistently across all areas of life. Emotional intelligence is the secret weapon of champions. Chapter 16. The Winning Mindset. Your Journey to Mastery. Training your mind to win any situation is not a one-time effort, but a lifelong journey. The final step in this journey is cultivating a winning mindset, a powerful combination of beliefs, attitudes, and habits that empower you to face challenges with confidence, take consistent action, and persist until you achieve your goals. This mindset transforms potential into reality and turns dreams into achievements. A winning mindset begins with belief, believing in yourself and your ability to grow, learn, and overcome obstacles. This belief is not about blind optimism, but grounded confidence built on preparation, experience, and self-awareness. When you trust your capabilities, you approach situations with calm determination rather than fear or doubt. Growth mindset, a concept popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, is a cornerstone of the winning mindset. It means viewing failures and setbacks as opportunities for learning rather than proof of inadequacy. Every challenge becomes a lesson, every mistake a stepping stone. This perspective fuels resilience, creativity, and continuous improvement. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. A winning mindset embraces discipline, not as a burden, but as a choice to act in alignment with your highest aspirations. Whether it's waking up early, practicing skills daily, or managing your thoughts intentionally, discipline keeps you moving forward even when motivation wanes. Gratitude and humility. Keep the winning mind grounded. Celebrate your progress and victories, no matter how small. Acknowledge the support and lessons from others. This balance of confidence and humility fosters healthy relationships and keeps you open to new insights and growth. Surround yourself with positivity. People, environments, and inputs that uplift and inspire you. Limit exposure to negativity, cynicism, or distractions that drain your mental energy. Your environment shapes your mindset, so curate it carefully to support your journey. Practice mindfulness to stay present and focused. A winning mind is fully engaged in the moment, aware of thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. Mindfulness enhances clarity, reduces stress, and improves decision-making, all vital for consistent success. Set clear, ambitious goals with actionable plans. A winning mindset is goal-oriented but flexible, ready to adjust strategies as needed while maintaining unwavering commitment to the outcome. Visualize your success, track progress, and celebrate milestones to keep momentum strong. Remember, mastery is a process. It requires patience, perseverance, and a passion for learning. Embrace the journey with curiosity and enthusiasm, knowing that every step forward strengthens your mind and moves you closer to victory. In conclusion, the winning mindset is the ultimate mental framework for success. It integrates belief, growth, discipline, gratitude, mindfulness, and goal clarity into a powerful force that propels you forward. Train your mind daily, nurture this mindset, and you will unlock your full potential to win in any situation life presents. Your journey to mastery starts now. With a winning mindset, there is no limit to what you can achieve. You've now discovered the essential tools and mindset needed to train your mind to win any situation. From mastering your thoughts, emotions, and resilience to harnessing visualization and emotional intelligence, every chapter has shown you how to build mental strength and confidence that lasts. Remember, winning is not just about the outcome, but about how you prepare, respond, and grow through every challenge. Now it's time to take action. Begin applying these principles consistently in your daily life. Practice patience, stay disciplined, and maintain your winning mindset, no matter what obstacles come your way. Your mind is your most powerful asset. Invest in it, train it, and watch how it transforms your reality. If this journey has inspired you, revisit these lessons often and share what you've learned with others. Growth multiplies when we uplift each other. Thank you for listening, and here's to your unstoppable success.